I'm here today to go over another confusing nutrition fact label, as I do every week. So if this is your first week with us, welcome. And if you have any challenging nutrition facts or foods that you want me to go over, make sure to drop that in the comments below, and I'm happy to take a look. So we hear a lot about different kinds of fats, like everyone's like, don't use butter, instead you should use oil. So why would we want to choose oil over butter? The only way we can possibly know is by checking the nutrition facts label. So let's go ahead and take a look. Today I'm looking at 3 different nutrition facts because I'm going to be looking at my butter, but I'm also going to be looking at canola oil and olive oil because I think a lot of people have this idea that olive oil is better, and so I want to just confirm or refute that by looking at the nutrition facts. So the first thing I always do when I'm looking at labels is look at the portion size. And for all of them, the serving size is exactly the same, 1 tablespoon. Perfect. That means we don't have to do any complicated math and we can just compare all the categories directly across. Now, as we know, for the most part, oil is 100% fat, which makes our nutrition fact label reading super short. We're just going to really look at the calories and the fat content. So, calories. My butter has 100 calories, my canola oil has 130, and my olive oil has 120. If you're surprised to learn that butter is actually the lowest in calories, let me know in the comments below, because I think a lot of times people just have these ideas about why butter is so bad for you without actually taking a look at the facts. So one thing about butter is that it's not 100% fat, unlike the oils. Butter does have some dairy and some other stuff, well, mostly dairy solids mixed in. And so when you're getting your tablespoon of butter, it's not 100% fat, which is why the calories are going to be lower. So now let's look at our fat content. For our butter, we have 11 grams of fat, which is 14% of your daily value. Our canola oil, we have 14 grams of fat, so it's actually higher in fat, which is 18% of your daily value. And our olive oil also has 14 grams of fat. So as of right now, our butter is winning. It's the lowest in calories and the lowest in fat. And actually, our canola oil and our olive oil seem to be neck and neck here because they are both around 120, 130 calories, 14 grams of fat. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the saturated fat. And if you're wondering why saturated fat is something that we always take a look at, you can check out this video right here where I go into more detail about why saturated fat is something we want to keep an eye on. So our butter has 7 grams of saturated fat, which is 35% of your daily value. That's 1/3 of the saturated fat you should be having in one day is in 1 tablespoon of butter. Then our canola oil has 1 gram of saturated fat, and our olive oil has 2 grams of saturated fat. So just to go over again, our butter has 1/3 of your daily saturated fat. Our canola oil has 1 gram, which is 5%, and our olive oil has 2 grams, which is 10%. And then the rest of the nutrition facts label are basically 0 because, again, for the most part, all of these are fat. So the surprising takeaway here is that butter is actually the lowest in calories, but it's actually the highest by a lot in saturated fat, which is why butter gets such a bad reputation. It is high in saturated fat, and therefore it is something that we should be eating in moderation. What also might be surprising to you is that canola oil is actually lower in saturated fat than olive oil. And so that's why we always like to check and compare and contrast nutrition facts labels so that when we make decisions, we can make sure that we're making the best decisions. Let me know in the comments below if you have another pantry item that you want to do a deep dive on the nutrition facts label, and I will be back here next week to do just that. See you guys then.